Ya estamos listos. What's going on, everybody? Carlos Lopez with VamosVols. What a special moment do I have here, especially being a part all my whole life with the special teams. I get to share today this balcony here at the University of Tennessee with number 90. Boom. Put the camera on him, man.
Max Gilbert, Tennessee kicker.
Max Gilbert, Tennessee kicker. This is extremely authentic. This is transparent. This is real. What I want to bring to your home, what I want to bring to your phones, tablets, whatever it is, I want you to see realness. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
First of all, I know we're on a bye week. If you already know, this is the first year that we're having Spanish broadcasting for every single one of our games. VamosVols is continuing to grow. And the first message that I always send to all the admins is, hey, I gotta do a VamosVols video with our special teams.
Yeah.
It's extremely special to me. Anytime anybody asks me anything, the first thing that I talk about is special teams.
Yeah.
You have been a huge part of our program. We'll talk about stats here in a little bit. I want to go back, man. I want to go back to how this all started. I want to go back to where you're from. Talk to us a little bit about, man, who you are, what you stand for, you know, your beliefs, where you grew up, and let everybody know who Max Gilbert is, man.
Yeah, so born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Born in East Memphis, lived in East Memphis my whole life. I went to the same school, Lausanne Collegiate School, from age 3 to 18 my whole life.
Okay.
From pre-kindergarten to when I graduated, when I walked the stage. And mom, dad, stepmom, older brother who lives in Pittsburgh. He's 2 years older than me. And yeah, I grew up my whole life playing soccer. My dad played semi-professional soccer.
Okay.
And he played in Arkansas. And so my whole life I wanted to be a pro soccer player. My favorite soccer team is Manchester United.
Okay.
I watch every single game, and soccer's still my first love. So played soccer, played under a really successful club coach, Kerry Talley, who played in the MLS for 15 years. Won a bunch of state championships, actually 5 in a row. And then around my 8th grade year, a bunch of my friends in middle school reached out, and they were like, you know, we need a kicker for the football team for the 7th and 8th grade team. So I was like, sure, I'll go do it. And then quit after like 2 games.
In middle school?
In middle school.
Okay.
I was like, it was only like a 3-game season, played 2 games, and I was like, yeah, I don't really like this. And then the head coach reached out, and then Josh Jasper reached out, who was actually the kicking coach in my high school. He was an All-American kicker at LSU in the 2000s, which actually, I mean, what a resource to have at your high school.
Unbelievable.
He emailed my mom, and he's like, we need a kicker and a punter. Both of them graduated. I know your son's going to be a freshman. What does he want to do it? And I wanted no part of it. I was like, I don't really want to do it. And then ended up going to a few summer workouts and worked with Josh. He was huge. Met a bunch of coaches. Worked with James Wilhoit.
Okay.
I'd say mainly worked with Adam Tanowski out of Buffalo, New York, who was my primary kicking coach. And just ended up getting ranked highly on Coles after my sophomore year, and then just found opportunities, started reaching out to colleges, putting film out there, going to college camps. And here we are now. I actually, I tore my ACL my junior year of high school.
Okay.
With 0 offers, with, you know, I was talking to coaches, but no real opportunities at that point. Tore my ACL about 4 games into my junior year, and thought, you know, what am I going to do? And I still was really uncertain on whether I wanted to do soccer or football, still playing both. And I kind of realized that, you know, with scholarship opportunities being very limited in soccer, I wanted to pursue football. I thought that my talent at football was a lot better than soccer, which is hard to say. You know, my whole life I wanted to play soccer. And rehab super hard, came back in time for my senior season, and then ended up getting offered here about 2 games into my senior year. Coach Eckler, special teams coordinator here, came to one of my games and offered me right after, and it was awesome. It was really special, and here we are now, 2 years later.
We're about to go through a little stretch routine to see what Max does, and then just kick a couple of balls, see if I still got it. Whoa! Hey, that's Chinese bamboo right there, baby. That thing's strong, boy. That thing's strong.
I think your body is the most important thing as an athlete.
This is you.
And getting your body right.
Okay.
So I do the same thing every single time. All the kickers, we all do this with the strength staff.
Okay.
So the first thing we'll do is just some open hip circles.
Oh, okay.
Like 5 each leg. Some back rotations. And we call these good mornings. Hands right here. It's like an RDL, but kind of just swinging, really stretch the hamstrings. How's that feel? And going back to my knee, I know everyone talks about sports injuries, but the night that I tore my ACL in high school, only one school reached out to me to see how I was doing, and it was Coach Eckler here. He called me that night. He's like, hey man, how you doing? I mean, no other school reached out, and that meant a lot to me from then. And then really just coming here on visits, seeing the environment here, the fan base here, and just hanging out with Coach Eckler. I thought that on my visits here and going to other places, he was the most genuine coach I'd ever met. I've never met anyone more passionate about the game of football, who cares more about his athletes and his job than anyone else. And that's a guy you want to work for every single day.
Yeah.
I won't do the whole thing, but game day warm up for kicking, we do, the physical, your muscle warm up.
Okay.
And then I always start out with no steps.
No steps.
I'm sure you did that.
Yep.
I have my left foot here. I go about a foot's length away. I step back, look up at my target, do a little practice ones, and then just really rip it.
Okay. How old are you right now, Max?
I just turned 20 about 2 weeks ago.
You just turned 20. Okay.
Yeah.
That was yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you did this one back in the day.
We did the same. We did a little bit back in the day like that too.
This is my favorite one.
But I don't know if mine's gonna look like yours. But no step.
Oh, I jinxed you.
I do want to ask you because again, I'm transparent. How do you deal with those misses?
Yeah.
We've had few.
Yeah.
We've had few. I think we're 12 for 15 this year.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how important it is to be a forgetter and move on.
Yeah.
As a kicker.
Well, I say this all the time with stats and what the coaching staff has told me here. You really don't want to look at stats during the season. It's kind of just go one for one, game by game.
That's it.
And at the end of the year, you look up and see how you did. And in terms of, I always say, Josh Jasper instilled this in me from the second he met me. He said, next kick mentality. Next kick.
That's it.
Because you make it, you miss it, you're the same guy, you have the same reaction. I always say to Coach Eck, if the football offices are up there in the windows, they can see us through the indoor. I tell him that when he watches me kick and he can't see the uprights, I don't want him to know, based on my body language, whether I made it or I missed it. You're the same guy. I know I've had some celebrations here in game, but that's when, you can tell if you made or missed in a game. But in terms of practice and game reps, just being the same guy every time, being mentally locked in.
Yeah.
And, last week, 2 misses, but, I just say to myself, it happens, As a kicker, you can't be perfect, and you just got to forget it quick because, I was called on the fourth quarter again, and if I'm sitting there dwelling about those 2 misses, it could have been a different outcome, it could have been a different game. And was excited that Coach Heupel trusted me and put me out there, and I took advantage of my opportunity.
Well, I'm glad that you said that because again, this is a conversation between you and I. I keep it real.
Yeah.
You are always as a kicker.
Yeah.
Especially you are always remembered as your last kick.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I remember is that kick that is putting us in a position where Alabama has to go all the way down the field to tie the game.
Yeah.
And then, man, I do got to ask you, what were you doing on the sideline when you saw Will Brooks take that last pick to seal the game?
I mean, you can ask anyone on the team. Everyone, he's a fan favorite. Everyone loves Will Brooks.
Yeah.
He's the most hardworking, humble dude you'll ever meet. And, being from Birmingham, we all know how much that meant to him to have that interception. And I was standing next to Dylan Sampson actually on the sideline right there, and we're all just standing there. I mean, I knew unless they had a miraculous drive, I wasn't probably going to be called on again, so I had my helmet off, I was standing there. And as soon as he picked it off, I mean, it was just pandemonium, like people falling over, knocking each other over on the sideline. All the coaches are holding everyone back, make sure nobody goes in the field, we don't get a penalty. It was just something I'll never forget that moment. It was awesome for Will, awesome for our team.
Take a diagonal side
I just do, 45 degrees right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just snap through like that.
I mean, it's so, Max, this is so smooth, man.
That's what I say. You swing,
wow.
Be smooth, swing smooth, everything else works out.
No, vale, esto es mentira. Esto es mentira.
A little bit of ground there.
Are you AI, dude? Are you a robot, dude? Are you a robot?
A little bit of ground there.
A little bit of something. It was your first time. This is your first year as the starting kicker here at a big school. Mm-hmm. You're playing against Alabama. You have that last kick, you know, to put the team up. That way Alabama has to run. What does it feel like to you? What does it mean to you to play for this team and be a part of those traditions such as Tennessee, Alabama?
I mean, it's really just surreal. I know I use that word all the time when people ask me about it, but it's really indescribable. I mean, to run out of the tee and play in front of all these fans, you know, once I'm in game mode and I'm locked in, people ask me about the crowd noise. I can't hear anything. You know, when I'm out in the field and I'm getting prepared for a kick, I can't see anyone. I can't see the crowd. When I look up at the uprights, like the crowd is like there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Just locked in, but really just the traditions here. You know, saying the maxims. You know, slapping "I'll give my all for Tennessee," running through the tee, smoking a cigar after beating Alabama.
Absolutely.
It's just unbelievable. Something that I never thought I'd be doing. You know, 5 years ago, playing in front of 100,000 every Saturday, and you know, making a difference for one of the biggest brands in the world. Look at that. That's more impressive than making it.
I mean, we used to do this back in the day.
Yeah.
We're not 20 anymore. We were in the studio calling this game. We win. We light it up. I appreciate you talking to me about football, but I want to know you in a personal level in the aspect of what does Max want to do after you get done with UT?
Yeah.
A lot of us had that dream of playing at the next level. Some of them will, some of them may not, but what does Max want to do? What are your personal goals here? I know that we have team goals.
Yeah.
I know that we have team goals, but what does Max want to accomplish here at the University of Tennessee, and where does Max see himself 6, 7, 10 years from now?
Yeah, in terms of personal goals, I mean, last year you asked me this, I'd say, I want to be the starter here. And now, looking up, I like to be present, but, I'd love to win a Lou Groza here. There's never been a Lou Groza winner here at this school. That'd be awesome. Redshirt freshman, so I do have a lot of time in front of me. I think Jeff Hall has the record for most career points in the history of the university. I think that'd be awesome on this pace, playing for a Josh Heupel offense. I get to kick a lot of extra points and field goals, so that's definitely a possibility. And then, in terms of life goals, I'm in Haslam, the Haslam School of Business here at Tennessee.
Okay.
And I think I'd love to pursue the NFL, but if that opportunity, doesn't work out for me, I think that I'd love to work in, executive sports operations. I think it's my dream to be a GM of a sports franchise.
Ooh, man, I like it. All right, man. Unbelievable. Last kick for me right here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have spent the day right here getting to know Max Gilbert, el número 90, el robot Gilbert from the University of Tennessee. 40.
Let's
left.
see it. Game winner.
Game winner.
Game winner.
Here we go. George the plant. Here we go.
There it is. Best hit of the day.
Boom.
Bombed it.
Hey, man.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Good luck this year. You know how to say go Vols in Spanish?
VamosVols.
VamosVols. This is Max Gilbert, kicker, starting kicker, University of Tennessee. Go follow him. I'll pull all his stuff on my social media. We're wishing him the best. What an amazing time we've had here on Rocky Top. The only thing we say is, VamosVols!